ṣẹ̀dá ọ̀run ọba tó lò ní Elédùmarè tó lọ la ọba tó lọ́jọ́ gbogbo ọba sọgbódilé o ọba sọgbẹ́dì ìgboro gbòǹgbò àṣírí inú àṣírí àdúró tì ní mọ̀yẹ lóye orin ò bá mi lọ́nà pò sérí iṣẹ́ mi orin owó mi ètè àfijọ́ orin tí ṣe tí ní gbọ́migbọ́mi pèdèmọ́bèdè ìjọ ọmọ alájí àgbà tí kọ́ ọmọ ní kéwú ń jọ sí ìyẹ̀rú lórílẹ̀ ẹ̀ bàbá tó bí mi lọ́mọ ọmọ òní gọ̀gọ̀gọ̀ kó mọ́ morílẹ̀ bàbá rẹ̀ ẹ kí ìyẹ̀rú ni mí mo fi rán mo jàre nínú ilé ọba mo jàre ọ̀rọ̀ owó ti lọ́ọ̀yẹ̀ ọ̀yọ̀ jẹ́wọ́ títà mo tà tán wọ́n bá fẹ́ wí wọn ní sísan ló san ìyẹ̀rú lóde ògbógi tó sunná kankan ògbó nìyàn má pìtàn ọ̀rọ̀ balẹ̀ lọ́ọ̀yẹ̀ ògbó bọ́lẹ̀ ń tòwú arìnrìnlé wa ní ìhunṣọ àjùbà nílé ọkà ọmọ ọlọ́yàn ọmọ òfúwọ́ sọwọ́yè ọmọ akútàn forí ẹ̀gún ṣọ̀nà ọmọ akútàn forí ẹ̀gún ṣẹ́ ẹ̀yẹ àjòjì ògbúdọ̀ bá wa dédé ẹ̀gún láéláé àjòjì tó bá wa débẹ̀ ẹ̀dáná fi yọjú rú wọn ọmọ ládé abilọ́yàn ni mi o abilọ́yàn ni mi àrà àròdò àbírùn ọmọ mi tẹ́rẹ́rẹ́ abẹ́ ọ̀tá mo fẹ́ wọn lọ́fọ̀ àmọ́jọ nílé ọlá lọ́mí ọmọ abiṣu jókòó ìjàkadì lóru ọ̀fà ìjà kan ìjà kan tọ́jà lọ́fà nílé ọlá lọ́mí ń jọ́ sí ó sojú ebè lọ́fà ó sojú pọ́rọ́ nínú oko ìjọ ń sojú ebè àgbélẹ̀ yàrá ó sojú usu tí poruku kánú oko ìbá sojú olóko ìbá làwọn ọmọ gónúgó nìyí moríjà kẹrìírí àkàlà moríjà tẹ̀m̀bẹ̀kùn ìyẹ̀rú ọ̀kín moríjà lápá ọlá lọ́mí ni mí moríjà lọ́bẹ̀ ẹ̀ sì rọra làmí bẹ́ẹ̀ bá làmí ẹ má jábẹ́ ó jinlẹ̀ lápá mi ọlá lọ́mí ni mí ọmọ abíṣu dára gbàdá kí ọlọ́fà ọbì ìdíyọmẹ́nu ọ̀kí ọlọ́fà ló lọ́fà ọlá lọ́mí ọlọ́mọ lólùkù lọ́mọ gbẹ̀ngbẹ̀lẹ́kù lára yòókù dá alùkóso nìyí ọlọ́fà ẹgbẹ́ ìje alùbẹ̀ǹbẹ̀ nìyí ọlọ́fà ẹgbẹ̀fà ìyẹ̀rú ọ̀kí nìyí ọmọ ẹlẹ́fà ọmọ gbẹ̀ǹdínlógún lé ọ̀kí o ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń sáré yàbàrà ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń yàbàrà dẹ́kọ̀ yẹ sọ ọ́ ìkòyí ẹ̀sọ́ ọmọ agbọ̀nyún jọ̀bí lólú nìyẹn ọmọ alérí ikú kan gun ọba mo jájájájá wọn ò kan yín lóde ogun àjàwẹ̀yìn ńlọmọ ní kò yíwò mi fẹ́ ogun ojoojúmọ́ ńlọmúlé egbọ́n sú mi lọ bó bá bá mi nígbó máa dolú gbó bó bá bá mi lọ náà máa dèrò ọ̀nà èyí ó bá mi ní pẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ máa dolú ṣiṣẹ́ kánú oko ẹ̀yin lọ mọ síjú agbópìrí ọmọ òdágbó ọfà sọ́fun bàbá rẹ̀ ló pọ̀ fún yọ̀ọ̀yọ̀ dágbó ọfà alẹ̀ ṣé ìmọ̀ rẹ̀ jẹ̀bú ọmọ èrè nìwà gbogbo ìjẹ̀bú tí ń bẹ níbi ẹ̀ẹ́dàpọ̀ ẹ̀ mọ́ bọ̀ ẹ wá sanwó bàbá tó bí yín lọ́mọ ìjẹ̀bú ọmọ èrè nìwà ọmọ adúrú mádé ọmọ adúrú mọ́sù pẹ̀dì ìyẹ́ jẹ́ ọmọ aládì ìyẹ́ ògògò mọ̀nìgà èyí sẹ́yìn ẹ̀yẹ́ bí awó kẹ̀gẹ̀kẹ̀gẹ̀ ọmọ adì ìyẹ́ porí òrù lépo lélẹ̀ òpó lélẹ̀ ara òrokùn bẹ́ẹ̀ ara òrà dìyẹ ọmọ ṣẹ́ńṣẹ́ ni ọ̀yọ́ ń yọ̀ ọ̀yọ̀mọ́yọ̀ mímọ́ ohun tí ṣe mi ò lè panìjẹ̀bú lẹ́ ọmọ èrè níwà iṣu mẹ́fà níṣu ìjẹ̀bú èjì ń jíjẹ èjì ń ta ìjẹ ó ní tí bàbá yín fi méjì yòókù bọ bó bá yẹ kán fi bó èsàlùkù tàbí kán fi bọ lẹ́gẹ̀mọ mẹ́rìndínlógún ogún wọ́wọ́ yọ̀wọ̀yọ̀wọ̀yọ̀ ọmọ mo níṣu nílé wọn ò lọ́bẹ̀ ọ̀bẹ bàbá yín ti ló ń bọ́ ọmọ mo rẹ́yẹ wọn ò rókò gbà tí mo rókò tán ẹ̀yẹ sì ti fò lọ ìjẹ̀bú lẹ́ ọmọ èrè níwà gbogbo ọmọ ìjẹ̀bú pátápátá lọ́mọ Àwùjalẹ̀ ọmọ fìdípọ̀ tẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ ọmọ jagbalúra wọn mẹ́gùn wọgbó bàrà rí ìbá ló kọ́kọ́ mẹ́gùn wọgbó rẹ́mọ ọmọ òṣèǹṣe ni ọ̀yọ́ ń yọ̀ ọ̀yọ̀mọ́yọ̀ mímọ́ ohun tí ṣe mi ò lè pa ní ìjẹ̀bú lẹ́ ọmọ èrè níwà ọmọ adúrú mádé o bó bá wù jẹ̀bú àwọn ní ẹni wíníwíní àyè gbàjẹ̀bú àwọn ní ẹni wíníwíní tó bá wá wù jẹ̀bú àfọ̀ní ẹ̀jọ́kù sọdún àgẹ̀mọ nílé bàbá tó bí yín lọ́mọ ni wọ́n lè pé ó pàjẹ̀bú mo ní rọ́kún padà kàkà ké pé ó pàjẹ̀bú aṣọ wọn a máa dúdú bíi kóró sí ni ọmọ ẹni ń tẹ èbó nílé èbó lówó bàbá yín lówó èbó lóògùn bàbá yín lóògùn wọ́n ní kébé wọ́n láyé tàbí láìlà sí wọn sì lóògùn ọ̀wọ̀ ìjẹ̀bú ní tí náwó dọ́là ké bó tó kówó dé èbó wá dé lówó ọ̀pọ̀ sí lódòwó ẹrú lódòwó ọmọ ìjẹ̀bú lẹ́ ọmọ èrè níwà bó bá ṣe ká mọ́ rẹ̀ ìjẹ̀bú mo lè wí dọ́ọ̀la mọ́ tí n bá fẹ́ dákẹ́ ń tí ń bẹ nínú mi ò ní jẹ́ ń rẹ́kẹ́dá ẹ jẹ́ ń rẹ jẹ́ ṣáà ìjẹ̀ṣòṣòrí ò nílẹ̀ obì ọmọ tẹ́nigbọ́lá nìyọ́ ọmọ nípòkítì rẹ̀ togúnra lù lóhùn ó gbòbí lọ́wọ́ mi ọmọ ogun tíra ni tíra gbá ẹni Ìjẹ̀ṣà kéékèèké ọmọ láṣẹ́wọ́ ọmọ gbódòporo nímòyìn díẹ̀díẹ̀ ló bí báwọn rọ̀ lókìtì ọ̀gàn ọmọ olóbì kan òòrì kan yìí tó solóko pọ̀nà níjọ́sí ẹni bá jápọ̀ ẹgbàá kan ní.
Wow, that was so amazing. And with that amazing chant, we say a big welcome to you. Thank you for joining us on today's interesting edition of the Medley Show. Of course, that was the chanting diva Ashekeola. We used that to give you a tip of what we're bringing to you on the show today. So today we're going to be celebrating vibrant colors, great photography, culture, fashion, and of course, heritage. Our focus today is on the Ojude-Oba of the Ijebu people. Yes, that is what we're going to be discussing today on the Medley Show. And I promise you, as always, it's going to be fun. Like you're going to learn things you didn't know about the Ijebu people, about their culture, how this particular festival has always helped in preserving their culture, the horse riding. It has almost become our own Met Gala in Ijebu land. Anyway, more to come on the show. But first, let's start you up. We're bringing you up to speed with all that's trending in the world of entertainment. BuzzFeed is up next.
Welcome to BuzzFeed, the only place where celebrity beef, emotional breakthroughs, and the 90s nostalgia all live happily ever after. Well, let's get into what's cooking. First up, rap drama. And no, not the kind with bars that save lives. We're talking ego versus ego, the Nigerian edition. Odumodu Black and Black Bones are not exactly seeing eye to eye right now. It started off light. Black Bones doing what Black Bones does best, shouting from every rooftop that he's the best rapper alive. Apparently, that didn't sit well with Odumodu, who decided to fire back in true Odumodu fashion. No diss tracks yet, but plenty of hold my beer moments in interviews. Now, things are starting to feel less like friendly banter and more like a rap custody battle. Honestly, if it escalates, we might need a referee, or at least a rap duel with padded microphones. But speaking of feuds, here's a plot twist nobody saw coming. Brandy versus Monica. Yes, The Boy Is Mine Brandy and Monica are going on tour.
You ready? I've been ready. What are we waiting for?
After years of side eyes, shady interviews, and award show awkwardness, they have apparently buried the hatchet, hopefully not in each other's backs. So now, fans get to relive the 90s, sing along to the hit that caused all the drama in the first place, and pretend that none of the mess ever happened. And now, shifting gears from beef to bravery, Jessie J is opening up about her recent cancer-related surgery and recovery. She is showing us that being raw, honest, and vulnerable is the real flex. She's not just surviving, she's thriving and sharing the journey with fans who need that dose of real. We stand talent, but we also stand healing even more. Get well soon, Jessie, and while you're at it, drop a comeback album for the culture, please. The celebrity world never runs out of premium gist, and neither do we. Till next time, keep your popcorn close, your tweets ready, and your buzz properly fed. The Medley Show.
And that was BuzzFeed. Of course, the celebrity world never runs out of drama, and we're always here to bring it to you. Speaking of what we're bringing to you, yes, today is for the people of Ijebu land. So all of you gather and let's have fun and celebrate your culture together. So Ojude-Oba 2025 was a blast. It was a splash of colors, culture, beauty, people, and of course, celebration of local tourism. Here are highlights of what went down at this year's edition. I need to confirm that my Zoom guests are still there. Am I Zoom?
be like Taufik gone. Me do below long for my city.
Okay, that was a tip of the iceberg. Of course, you're going to see more as the show unfolds. Time now for you to meet my guests and people who are sort of part of the magic that happened at Ojude-Oba. I'll start with introducing to you my first guest, who is, he's a grandson of the longest reigning Balogun of Alatishe, in the person of Prince Adedoyin Alatishe. Prince, thank you for joining us today on the Medley Show.
My pleasure.
Okay, so we also have joining us. So if you've seen a lot of Ojude-Oba pictures and videos everywhere, in fact, I feel like I got to know about that festival courtesy of this amazing photographer that I'm about to introduce to you, in the person of the Niyi Fagbemi. Niyi, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us on the Medley Show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing amazing. I think it's going to be an amazing.
Okay. Niyi, can you still hear me? Okay, so in the studio with us is someone who is looking like the king of Ijebuland himself. He is a fashion designer and he is Simi Ted. Simi, welcome to the Medley Show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I look this beautiful courtesy of Simi. I mean, it feels like you were gunning, like making me look like you. Like, it's just that the purple is not there.
You're nowhere close.
Right?
No.
Okay, so welcome to the Medley Show.
Thanks for having me.
So we're going to be looking at the 2025 Ojude-Oba Festival, but I need to confirm that I still have Prince and Niyi online with me. Oh, Prince, it's good to see you.
Yes, I believe I'm here as well.
Yeah. So, Prince, I'm going to start the conversation with you, yeah? You are the grandson of the longest reigning Balogun of the Alatishe family in Ijebuland. So speak to me, first of all, what does the Ojude-Oba Festival mean to you? Because you've been part of it for many years, first as a spectator and then as a rider. So talk to me.
Ojude-Oba to me, it means everything. I feel privileged to be part of it, to come from such a big family and all that, and I don't think I'll trade anything for being an Ijebu man. It's a festival I believe everyone should witness at least once. We're not there yet, but it's a very beautiful festival showcasing Ijebu's, our unity, our tolerance, and our accommodating spirit. So, like I said, I feel privileged to be very part of it.
I think I agree with you. I should come to the festival at least once in this lifetime before we all leave. I feel like I need to come and experience the festival for myself. But I need to ask, you've spoken about what it means to you. So I want to know what it means to your family, because it's a legacy that has been on in your family for a long time, and you have the baton now. So what does it mean to your family?
Yeah. It means a lot to us. It means we have to keep stepping up every year. Like you said, my grandfather reigned longer than anyone as the Balogun of Ijebuland. I was 24 years. So we, his descendants, we have to keep upholding his legacy, showcasing his story, and going out and doing it well every year.
Okay, fantastic. So let me talk to you. You are a fashion designer. So one thing that always stands out at the Ojude-Oba, aside the horse riding, which is a big deal, is the fashion. The fashion is loud, and we can't ignore it. So have you been part of the Ojude-Oba before?
I have never been.
Never been, but you look like them.
Well, I'm a culture custodian.
Okay, so as a designer, how do you view the festival from a creative and cultural perspective?
So, what I would love to say is fashion has become what's more than what we used to know it to be. You know, fashion is a means of communication without talking, and you cannot exactly separate fashion from culture. You know, with your fashion, you can potentially, you know, convey a message about your social circle, about your tradition, about where you're from, and then people are able to associate with you as such. And aside that, I think there's this respect that you command from being able to uphold your culture through what you wear without caring about what anybody thinks about it. So yes, we cannot exactly separate fashion and culture.
Yeah. But you've seen how it has become a big deal.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. From your creative perspective, what would you say? Like, how would you say this particular, how it has become noticeable, how it represents the culture of the Ijebu people?
So what I would say about that is now they have been given an opportunity to showcase what they actually are in terms of fashion. So, and then what you notice is the trend has actually improved year in, year out.
Yeah.
You know, back in the days, nobody was talking about Ojude-Oba as much as they do now. And then one thing that is very important to people is they want to showcase what they are in terms of fashion. So when you see this person, you're like, oh, this person is Yoruba first off. And then you're saying, okay, this person is Ijebu based on this is what they wear in Ojude-Oba. And because of that, you also see a lot of people trying to be a part of that culture. Even the people that in diaspora and are like, oh, this is not really my thing. They're used to the, you know, the Othe fashion and all. When they see how people are celebrating fashion at the Ojude-Oba, it gives them a reason to also want to embrace their culture, embrace that part of them. So yes.
Okay, so do we have Nii on? Is Nii back? Do I have Nii back? Okay, so let me talk to Prince. So
I just saw the...
Prince, do you feel some sort of responsibility? Because I heard you say that you're proud to be an Ijebu man. I'm talking to Prince Adedoyi now. Do you feel some sense of responsibility having to carry this culture of your people every year?
Yeah, I do. To so many that know my story, they know I've been talking about Ojude-Oba before it became cool, posting it on my socials, having to explain to everyone what Ojude-Oba meant and all that yearly. Now, Nii is on the show, and I must acknowledge the role Nii played in the globalization of Ojude-Oba. 2023, Nii's video was everything. It served as a reference to me, even, you know, sending it to people that, okay, this is the festival I've been talking about and all that. So Nii is responsible alongside some of us that are responsible for the globalization of Ojude-Oba. And, you know, now everyone is talking about it. It's good. It feels like all the years of hard work and everything, the festival is finally there. But we're not there yet. We still have to keep maintaining and pushing for it to be better than it was this year.
Yeah. And Nii, I completely agree with him because I would say Ojude-Oba has been there for many years, but I don't think I heard about it until I started to see your work everywhere. So I want to know what drew you to documenting, because your images are very powerful. And pictures, videos tell a lot of stories. So I want to know what drew you to documenting this particular festival. I'm speaking to Nii right now.
Okay, thank you so much. So I think for we as Nigerians and we as Africans, what I truly believe is that we need to tell more of our own stories in the best way possible, right? So we need to travel more within our communities, within our nation, and also within the continent as well, and tell our own stories and put it out there for the world to see. when we were growing up, a lot of all the places we were hearing about and a lot of all the images that we had of places around us was all based on what people outside came to tell about about like the places that were just like in our own neighborhood, right? So we just need to tell more of those stories and showcase it to the world. So in terms of what drew me to Ojude-Oba, right? Funny enough, my grandmom was actually part of one of the Regbe groups, who are the 8th grade groups that wear the matching attires, and you can see they are very colorfully dressed. And it was something that I always wanted to capture, but unfortunately in 2022, I lost my grandmom, and I wasn't actually able to capture the 2022 version. But in 2023, I decided to just be persistent and persevered, and I just decided to capture it as well, right? I know I felt sick at some point, but I mean
It's a
that
lot of
didn't stop me
work.
from telling. Yeah, it didn't stop me from telling that particular story, right? So in terms of what I liked about the festival when I got there, right? I think it's something that I realized that was very unique. I have been fortunate enough to travel to the northern part of Nigeria, to places that nobody has even heard of, cultures that we haven't really seen yet as well, right? But I can say the Ojude-Oba Festival stands out not only in the uniqueness, but also in the regular groups and also in the families too as well, right? It's just something that has been driven on and on for years, and it's something that the people of Ijebu are really proud to participate and also to have the Ojude-Oba Festival. So aside from the cameras and I mean what we see online, right? So a lot of what we see online and in the videos is actually what will happen even if there were no cameras, right? So it's just to show like the love of the people of Ijebu for the culture and also to pay respect to the Awujale of Ijebu Kingdom and also more or less the love for the culture. Thank you.
Okay. Dee, are you from Ijebu?
So my grandmom is from Ijebu, so just because my dad is from Ekiti, I'll say I'm from Ekiti.
Okay, so at least you have a bit of affiliation to the Ijebu people, so that's okay, that's okay. But you said your grandmom was one of the Regbe groups, but I want to ask, what captures it for you the most? Is it the fashion? Because fashion there's the fashion, there's the horse riding, yeah? So is it the human expressions or it's the fashion that is more breathtaking for you?
Okay, so I think for me, what makes it really stand out is the fact that everybody is uniquely dressed, but at the same time, they are all dressed in matching colors. So they have different groups, and each of these groups, right, every year they agree on what colors that they will wear. And I think the beauty of it is when it all comes alive, right, and on the Ojude-Oba day itself, right. So we can have like a group of people wearing red, and another group of people wearing blue. And when you now look at it in like a stadium setting, it's like an art piece that is waiting to be taken, right? So I think it's just that's what really stands out for me.
Okay, so Prince Adedoyin, I want to talk about horse riding now. I feel like when you're riding into the arena, there is you're on a horse, all dressed in your regalia, and you feel and look very, very powerful. What's the feeling for you when you're like the drums are beating, the people are chanting, there's a lot of noise in the arena, and you're riding regally? What's the feeling like for you? I'm talking to Prince Adedoyin now.
I think a footballer looks forward to the big stage. So just like me, carrying the tradition of my family, entering the arena with the drums, everyone looking is the best feeling ever. You just go there and you feel like, yeah, it's time to put my family on the map. That's what it feels like. And it's so good. Like even if I wasn't feeling well, there would be this energy that would make me not, miss it or anything like that. So it's one of the best feeling. I look forward to that day more than any day. And yeah, that's just it.
So once you're there, It's not about you. It's about legacy for you. It's about
It's
preserving a
about
legacy for
legacy.
you. That's cool.
It's
That's
about
cool.
legacy.
But let's talk about your horses. I once saw a video where you were talking about your horses and how much you buy them. I don't want us to go into the prices of
Yeah.
your horses, but what I want to talk about is how you prepare them for these events. Is there some sort of training, or do you have to do like a bonding ritual with your, because it has to respond to you. Your horse has to respond to
Yeah.
you in that arena. So let's talk about the relationship
Uh,
with you and your horse and how you prepare.
As you know, the horses are sourced from the north. We source them. I mean, you have to look for something unique while sourcing them, and just hope for the best when you get them. But when Ojude-Oba is like 6 months away, I go to Ijebu every weekend, start practicing, get the drummers out on random days to come and start drumming for the horses, just to prepare them for the day. Get the local hunters out to come and shoot the guns, just to create the atmosphere before the day. So it takes a lot of time, effort, and everything. But when you do it and you do it well on the day, you feel proud, and you actually don't feel it. So
Okay.
it takes a whole year to plan. So
Okay.
you don't.
So I want to talk about your outfits. I mean, I'm seeing the way you're looking now, looking like a prince that you
Yeah.
are. And we know that every time we see your pictures at the festival, it's always a showstopper, from you to your horses looking as regal as ever. So I want to know how you select your outfits for the festival. What kind of work goes into you picking your outfits for the festival? Because it's a big deal.
Uh, Trust me. Even all,
I
I
do
won't
trust
talk
you.
about myself alone. I'll talk about even the age groups, the Regbe. A month after Ojude-Oba is done, you literally start planning for what you want to wear next year.
Say what
Right now
now?
for next year, I already have our outfit ready for next year.
Wow.
My actual okay for yeah. So around January, I'll sit down. I'm actually not a good sketcher, but for my outfit and my horses, I actually draw them out myself.
Wow.
Exactly I want them to look. And yeah, I do it. I get someone that can actualize it for me, and that's how I turn up every year.
Fantastic. Simi.
Yes, ma'am.
So he sketches his outfits, the effort he puts into looking good just for this festival. Do you think festivals like Ojude-Oba are something that can help that can put African designers on the global map, seeing how beautiful and colorful they look?
100%. 100%. So the truth is, like I said earlier, you would find a lot of people, even in diaspora now,
Yeah.
wanting to be a part of Ojude-Oba. And at the end of the day, they're not coming to wear their sneakers, they're not coming to wear their jeans and whatnot. So when they're trying to be a part of Ojude-Oba, they are looking for designers. Just as I mentioned, he can do his best to sketch. He's not a sketcher. He's going to be needing a designer who is going to, perfect the sketch for him, perfect the tailoring and all of those. So yes, I totally agree that festivals like Ojude-Oba is putting Nigerian designers, Nigerian tailors on the global map.
Okay. Okay. So, Nee, are you still with me?
Yes, I am.
So when you're in a festival like this, there is a lot. Like your eyes are seeing so many things. It's a spiral of colors, a burst of colors from the outfits, on the humans and then the animals as well. So I want to know, do you see your work as or before I ask you that, how do you balance between capturing the beauty of all that has happened and then telling a deeper story about the culture and the culture of the people and their community? Because I've seen you do documentaries that are just beyond the festival. So how do you create that balance?
Okay, so I think what I've realized is that in order to have people experience the festival without actually being there, is when you are telling the story, you need to look at what is unique and what makes the festival stand out, right? So for Ojude-Oba itself is the uniformity and also the swag of the elderly people and also the swag of the families as well, right? And also there's I mean, the Gen Zs will call it the aura, right? So it's just something that is really, really nice, really, 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 really unique, right? So in terms of what I look out for is for the Ojude-Oba itself, I've been privileged to travel and cover different festivals. But for the Ojude-Oba itself, it's just something that is really good. The energy of the people, and also the I think the setting too as well, right? It's just something that is really good and really unique too as well.
Okay. So we'll take a quick break now on the show, but we will come back to talk a little bit more about Ojude-Oba. But on this break, we'll bring you a feature on some of the things that we think you need to know about this particular festival. Stay with us.
In the heart of Ijebu-Ode, something magical happens. A burst of color, the sound of hooves on earth, regal fashion, and the people proudly parading their heritage. Welcome to Ojude-Oba, a festival like no other. With over 100 years of history, Ojude-Oba began as a humble post-Eid visit by early Muslim converts to honor their king, the Awujale of Ijebu land. But today, it has evolved into a grand cultural carnival, attracting thousands from across Nigeria and beyond. And then come the horses, majestic, decorated, proud. Each horse tells a story, ridden by descendants of warrior families, the Baloguns, who ride to honor their ancestry and renew loyalty to the throne. It's not just performance, it's prestige. It's history galloping before your very eyes. But Ojude-Oba is also a fashion fest. Agbada sway, gele sparkle, and coordinated age groups known as Regberegbes dazzle with every step. Modern designs fused with traditional elegance, proof that heritage is still alive and trending. And where there's color and culture, there's a camera. Photographers, influencers, vloggers, they all flock here to capture the soul of Ijebu land. The viral moments, the dance-offs, the royalty, the joy. Ojude-Oba isn't just an event. It's a media sensation and a tourism magnet. But beyond the glamour and grandeur, Ojude-Oba remains a festival of identity. It connects generations, celebrates unity, and reminds the world that culture is not a costume, it's a legacy. This is Ojude-Oba, a celebration of people, pride, and power, where every horse ride echoes history, every outfit tells a story, every heartbeat says, we are Ijebu and we honor our Oba.
Okay, that was something we needed you to see because, we've been talking a lot. Pictures tell more stories than words, and that was why we had to bring you that feature. So I still have Simi Tet in the studio, and of course I still have Prince Adedoyin and Nii joining me on Zoom. So I want to speak to Prince Adedoyin now. Prince, can you hear me? Can Prince Adedoyin hear me? Okay, so Nii, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so in capturing the beauty and all that happens at the Ojude-Oba festival or any other festival that you're capturing, but we're talking Ojude-Oba today, I want to ask, what part of your creative process do you want people to see Because, I mean, I may be looking at the pictures and I may not be seeing the stories that you're trying to tell. I may just be seeing colors or beauty. But what part of your creative process in bringing this theme to limelight do you want people to see?
Okay, so I think firstly, I would like people to understand that it's the reason why I do what I do is also because I love to tell stories. And like I mentioned earlier, it is essential for we as Nigerians and we as Africans to tell our own stories in the best way possible, because nobody can tell your own story more than you, right? So as somebody from Nigeria, there's some things about Nigeria I'll be able to tell to somebody outside Nigeria that only me as a Nigerian can explain to them, right? And I think another thing I want people to see and understand is that there's a lot of hard work that goes into it, right? And sadly, for my field, 99% of what I do is self-sponsored, right? So I mean, I travel on my own money, go to different festivals, different cultures on my own money. In 2023, I mean, I think I spent up to 400,000 400,000 naira altogether, right, to be able to cover the festival, right? So nobody paid me to do it. I just did it out of like the passion that I had for storytelling. But in the end of the day, it was worth it, because the 2024 version and the 2025 version, I think the 2023 blew so much. It gathered over 100 million views and impressions worldwide, right? And it made the festival to be on the global scale, right? So that just shows the importance of storytelling and stories being told by people from Nigeria, and Nigerian stories being told by people from Nigeria, and African stories being told by people from Africa too as well.
Okay, so let me talk to you, Simi. Ni is telling stories from the lens of his camera, and every fashion piece in that arena is telling a story. 100%. So I want to ask, how does fashion help to tell the story of prestige, of royalty, family identity? Because they mentioned how that the prince said that month after Ojude-Oba, they're already picking out what to wear next. So they have to be looking for what I think should be telling another story that they want the world to know about their family. So how does fashion help to convey messages like this, tell the stories that we want the world to know? Whether it's about family, heritage, our culture, royalty, identity.
So one of the things I had mentioned earlier is that fashion is a silent communicator. What you're wearing is already telling a lot of stories about you. It's already giving a lot of people ideas about where you're from. Anybody that sees me right now, even though I might be Igbo or I might be Hausa, they just believe that this guy has to be Yoruba. And then aside that, even the colors tell very important stories. For example, purple represents royalty, and then a lot of the colors, they actually peak. I mean, the Regbe people, these colors are actually colors that tell stories about them. The red could be telling stories about the Balogun family, the warrior family, and all of those. So yes, fashion is very, very important to tell these stories. And then one of the things as a brand that we do at Simited is we try as much as possible to tell stories with every piece we create. Tell stories, folklores that people would typically not remember. Like we have outfits called Amina, like what you're wearing. We have outfits, and that's about Queen Amina of Zazau. We have outfits called Alagbada.
Every outfit,
tells a story. Very, very important. We don't just sketch out outfits or just tailor outfits. We want to tell stories with them.
So you design with maybe cultural messages or generational pride in mind.
And that's why, for example, the Ashoke piece, the Adire piece, some of these pieces, the Adire will go as far back as Oshogbo. All these pieces, they've been created from back in the 1970s, 1960s, and we are still using them now. So all those stories intertwined together to actually still project the culture and say, no, we're going to preserve this. This is not going to die. So yes, those are the stories we're telling.
Okay. So Ni, you mentioned earlier that when you were covering, I think, the 2023 edition, that you fell sick at some point. And that just tells me that there's a lot of work in preserving or telling the story that you want people to know about the Ojude-Oba festival. So I wanted to share with me maybe some funny, unexpected behind the scenes moments, something that happened. You know, when we're seeing your work, the pictures, the videos, we don't know what you went through. Like, we're just seeing the beauty of your work. So I wanted to share with me a few of the things that probably happened, some challenges, some very funny stuff that you had to deal with, and you just kept pushing through.
Okay, so I think firstly to mention, in terms of what I do, right, it's like I said, self-financed. So the main challenge I think was finances. I had to travel all the way from Abuja to Lagos. I actually booked a ticket, and from Lagos all the way to Ijebu, I hired a car. And by the time I got to Ijebu, I mean, I had already spent like all the money I had. So the plan was actually just to maybe find a very cheap hotel and just stay there overnight, then cover the Ojude-Oba the next day. But unfortunately, by the time I went around town, I saw that almost everything was like
Your budget.
outside my budget, right? I think the funny thing from my own side was I actually did not tell my parents that I was traveling to Ijebu, right? So my mom actually just called that night and just said, "Oh, ni, like, how are you?" I said, "Oh yeah, I'm fine." Oh, and she was like that. "Oh yeah, how is everything?" She just thought to check up on me. And I just explained to her that, "Oh yeah, I'm fine and everything. I'm just currently in Ijebu. I was just looking for a hotel, but unfortunately I did not see." So that's where she was able to now call one of our family friends, who was able to call another one of our family friends, and that's how I was actually able to get somewhere to stay. And I think one thing that gave me energy, like I mentioned, I wasn't really feeling fine. And one thing that gave me energy for the next day is during the Ojude-Oba period, that's actually Salah too as well, right? So
Yeah.
they were celebrating Salah in that particular compound. So by the time I ate ram and ate like a lot of food, I think I was feeling a lot better for the Ojude-Oba festival itself.
So it was food that was the problem, D. You were hungry. You were hungry, and we thought you were not feeling well. Oh Lord, don't worry, don't worry. Your work is already out there. The more you do it, the more money will come.
Yeah.
But I just,
Hopefully.
I just want to ask, yeah, are there specific moments during the Ojude-Oba festival that, in telling the stories that you're telling, you ensure that you do not miss? Like, there are specific moments that you definitely have to capture to complete your story.
Yeah. So I think the first thing that you have to ensure you capture is the people, right? And also to be able to capture the essence of Ojude-Oba, right? So the main essence is that the culture has been intact from the 1900s, over 100 years, right? Almost 200 years, all the way to 2025 that we're in now, right? It is something that has been celebrated continuously, right? So if you look at all the images from back in the days, right? I mean, the little we have, you realize that the culture and the styling hasn't changed, right? It's just more or less the colors. And I think nowadays we're seeing a lot more people bring show interest in wanting to attend the Ojude-Oba festival. So in terms of what I would not miss, right, is I would not miss number one the colors. That's what the regulars are wearing, and also in for the families too as well, right. So I believe people should please wait behind if you want to attend the Ojude-Oba festival up until if you want to attend it next year. Always wait behind for the families showcase, right? So we have like the Balogun Kuku families, the Balogun Latishe, like we're doing, and that's doing his family too as well, right? So all the families, they have amazing shows, and that is one thing that I would say you should not miss. So you should be able to capture the energy and also the like the gloriousness of the event.
Okay, okay. So, Simi, I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Nii, when it comes to balance
Okay.
in creating this fashion pieces that you do. So how do you create a balance between innovation? Because these days, I mean, you call this the Amina piece, but it's mixed with cultural fabric. So I would say it's like contemporary meeting culture,
Yeah.
right? So how do you create a balance between innovating new styles to fit into what we're wearing today and respecting the cultural roots of the story you're still trying to tell in the fabrics or through the fabrics or the silhouettes you're creating?
Okay, so I would say in creating a balance, you need to understand that as a creator myself, as a fashion creator, I need to first understand that it's not just the people from Ijebu-Ode that are wearing my outfits. It's not just Yoruba people that are wearing my outfits. It's not just Nigerians that are wearing my outfits. Like, we ship our outfits globally. So one of the things, as a matter of fact, one of the years that changed the game for us as a fashion brand was in 2023 when we released our collection called Munganisho. Munganisho means fusion in Swahili. And what we did with that collection basically is we started to merge cultures together. That was our goal. So we traveled to Tanzania, we traveled to Ghana to get batik from Tanzania, to get kente from Ghana, and all of these things, just to be able to merge them together. And then we are now saying we're not just merging fabrics together, we're also merging these cultures together. So in as much as you want to preserve your culture, you need to be able to say, I also want to merge cultures together, such that
go ahead.
Such that other cultures can also buy into our culture. But if you just decide, oh, it's just agbada I want to put out there, somebody from Tanzania or somebody from Kenya might not feel great wearing at that point in time.
I'm not sure I agree, because if you look at what the Regwe are wearing, if you look at what they're wearing, it's like Nee said, it's basically the same thing they've been wearing every
From back
year.
in the days.
From back in the day, but it's stepped up in the colors and the designs. They haven't mixed it with culture from, say, Eastern Nigeria. They are repping the Ijebu-Ode culture. But then again, and seeing that could make me want to wear Irambo. I could have worn Irambo back to the studio today because it looks so beautiful.
So I'll tell you, there are certain things that have actually been merged. You might not just see them. So for example, back in the days, what our forefathers would wear with their agbada would typically be complete adire or complete ashoke.
Okay.
But now you see a lot of people merging wool fabrics, merging, what's it called? Velvet fabrics to their agbada. You see a lot of, back in the days when we design agbada, you don't see people putting lining on the agbada.
Oh,
but we are
okay.
doing that now. Linings are basically for suits.
Okay.
But people add linings to the agbada now just to spice up the colors,
outfit.
spice up the outfit and all of those. So
Okay.
yes, you might not see the merging of cultures or merging of fabrics, but they are there.
Okay.
Very, very subtle.
Okay. Anyway, so we'll take another break now. When we return, of course, we'll be rounding up, but Simi and Nee and Prince Adedoyin will still be in the studio. The Medley Show.
From the Atlantic across the savannah to the Sahara, we rise, a land of the free, we know they tire. We dream great, our spirit is undying.
Resilient, rooted like palm tree, we sway in colors, with undying demand. We make solutions, we ignite passion, yeah. Diversity is unique, we have more than just a nation.
We are Nigeria, strengthening unity. We know they carry lives. We are Nigeria, together live the dream of a land with great destiny. We are Nigeria.
I am the real Nigerian. Brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
All right, this is still the Medley Show, and we are celebrating culture in today's edition, but with focus on Ojude-Oba. We are rounding up at this moment, and of course, I still have Nee joining us via Zoom, and Simi Ted is still in the studio. So, Nee, I want to speak to you. Final words. We're done with Ojude-Oba for 2025. Like Prince Adedoyin said, you're already prepping for 2026. You've had to deal with a lot in bringing Ojude-Oba to the limelight for 3 years in a row now. So you now have more experience to plan for 2026. So I want to know, so what's the plan? How are you planning for the next edition? And of course, I think there are other young photographers who want to be able to do what you're doing, maybe not just for Ojude-Oba, but to also preserve culture and tell stories through their photography. What would you say to them?
Okay, so I'll say firstly for 2026, aside from what I'm planning to do, I think there will also need to be a lot of accommodating for the growth that has happened between 2023 and now. But I think one thing we saw in the 2025 version is that a lot of people came, right? I think it was a lot more than what people actually catered for and also imagined, right? So there was a lot of people. So it was really crowded at some point, and it was kind of hard to actually navigate, and also the logistics were not too easy. So I think definitely I'm 100% sure that the Ogun State government has already like put that into effect, and they're definitely already I'm working on expanding and also increasing the size of the venue, or maybe even changing the venue as well, right? So I think it's just something that that will definitely be put into consideration, right? So for myself, what I'm definitely going to prepare for is next year. Try as much as possible. I tell people this: try as much as possible to be there as early as possible. You can be there a day or 2 days before. I think the Ojude-Oba has grown from being just a day festival to being more or less like a 3-day or 4-day celebration, right? So aside from the festival that happens, you can see even some brands, they more or less have activators before the event, or they have like different events that you can actually come and attend as a guest. And I mean, it's amazing. The town is very vibrant during that period, and the people are filled with like joy, and it's just very energetic. Something you can't replicate sometime else.
All right, that's fine. We'll keep your advice in mind. And I would like to add to that, please carry food so that we'll know whether it's hunger that is doing us or we're not feeling well. Okay? so Simi, final words, preserving culture through fashion. Your final words.
So, in line with what you said earlier, you said we have been wearing the same thing from back in the days. I would say as much as we want to continue evolving, it's important to still keep paying homage to our own thing by using our fabrics. You know, these guys that weave all these fabrics, weave all these showcase, the guys that print the adire, the tie and dye. We need to spotlight them the more. We need to find a way to empower them such that they keep doing what they do, and even in a very much better way. Okay. So that we can always preserve our culture through fashion. Okay,
preserve our culture using our own locally made fabrics. Yes. Nice, nice. So thank you so much, Simi Ted, for being on the Medley Show today. Thank you so much, the Ni Fagbemi, for being part of the Medley Show today. And of course, a very big thank you to Prince Adedoyin Alatishe for being part of the Medley Show today. But we will be back same time next with another fantastic and interesting edition. I will hand you over right now to the chanting diva herself, Asake Ola. Asake, is over to you.
Ọmọ adúrú mọdé ọmọ adúrú mọṣú pẹ̀dí iye jẹ́ ọmọ ẹlẹ́dìyẹ ògògò mọ̀nìgà ìfẹ̀yẹ yé bí awó kẹ̀ǹgẹ̀kẹ̀ǹgẹ̀ ọmọ adìyẹ porí òrù lépo lélẹ̀ òpó lélẹ̀ ara òrokùn bẹ́ẹ̀ ara òradìyẹ ọmọ ṣẹ́ńṣe ni ọ̀yọ́ ń yọ̀ ọ̀yọ̀mọ̀yọ̀ mímọ́ ohun tí ṣe mí ò lè pa mí Ìjẹ̀bú ńlẹ̀ ọmọ èrè nìwà ọmọ oníṣu nílé mi ò rọ́bẹ̀ ọbẹ̀ bàbá wọn ti dó ń bọ̀ ọmọ mo rẹ́yẹ wọn ò rókò gbà tí mo rókò tán ẹyẹ sì ti fò lọ gbogbo ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú pátápátá lọ́mọ Àwùjalẹ̀ ọmọ fìdípọ̀ tẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ ọmọ Ajagbalúra wọn ò mégún wọgbó bàrà rí ibà ló kọ́kọ́ mégún wọgbó rẹ̀ gbéwúre òṣàjẹ́ ń dàbí onílé yìí náà ṣe ń pé kékeré Ìjẹ̀bú owó.